Okay, in this video I'm going to go through the settings and options on the GoPro Hero camera. This is a GoPro Hero, also known as the GoPro Hero Naked, and it actually has a lot of the same features and settings as the other cameras. So just on the outside here, you have the power button here, the shutter button there, which is also toggling between options. We'll get to that. There's the microphone. You have the USB port and your different outputs for video. On the back, that's the bus port. That is to attach accessories. And then you have also the resolution settings here. We'll get into that. Then there's your SD card slot. So let's go ahead and turn the camera on by holding down the button on the front. And those three beeps mean it's on. As you can see at the very top is an icon of a camera that is in video mode. That is the icon for video mode. Then you have the three dashed line. That tells you that there's no SD card in the camera. I'll go ahead and put one in. Okay, with it in, it will either say 000 or whatever number of video or photo files you have on the camera. And below that, you have the battery setting, and then you have the resolution setting. 5 is, as I showed you on the back, R5 1080p. So if you want to record for longer, you set it to a lower resolution. But we'll go ahead and push this button here. It will cycle through the options. This is a 10-second timer for a photo. Then you have just a camera. We'll go ahead and push the button, and it took a snapshot. Okay, so that took 11 photographs. We'll go into the settings on that. Oops, held that in too long. Okay, now we have the burst photo. That will take 3 photographs. So if I push it, it'll go 1, 2, 3. So it takes 3 burst photographs. Go back to video mode. Now the difference between photo and video mode, it actually crops the video in video mode, whereas the photo mode, you're actually getting a more in the scene. So something to consider. There is a benefit to just taking a photograph. Obviously you're not getting a video feed, but there is actually benefit to it. So we'll go ahead and cycle through. Oh, oops. Okay, so now that we have the set mode selected, we'll push the button on the top. Okay, so then the first thing that you see there is the on F option. Is actually a one button on, as in one button to record feature. So right now it's off, but if I were to select that, as soon as I power on the camera, it will start recording. So that's helpful if you're in any type of situation where you're just ready to go, start filming your video, you would have that section, that option on. Okay, so if I push the set button again, it will give you the F. And what that is saying, what option do you want it to do when you have the one power setup? So if I toggle through here, you can say I want it to do a single photo mode, or I want it to do a triple shot mode. I want it to take a photo every so many seconds, or film. So we'll just leave it on film. Okay, now here's the resolution. Resolution 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Resolution 1 is a WVGA file, which is 60 frames per second. And then you have the lower frames, 720p. So whatever you need to set it to, that's how you do it there. But we'll go back to the 1080p. This option here is the exposure setting. The default is the center exposure. So it will give you a balance for indoor and outdoor lighting conditions. But if you toggle between it, so the SPT setting is a spot setting. It will focus on one specific spot, which is the middle of the road. So if you have this in a car and there's a dark area in the car, it is not going to adjust for exposure for that. It will actually adjust for the brightest, whatever is brightest. And so this is good for driving in your car. If you have anything, if it's set back and there's darkness around it, then you're going to want to have it on this section. But if you're filming somebody in a car, then you want to have it on the center weighted average meter. So it just kind of balances everything. Okay, next we have the up and upside down. So this is if the camera were mounted, depending on how you have it mounted, it would film with your camera mounted this way, flipping the camera image right side up. So there are some instances, possibly you can imagine, where you would want that option. But we will keep it in right side up mode. Going on to the next one. Here you have live video feed on. And this is for different peripherals. If you don't have it, you don't need that on, so just go ahead and click that. But that's how you set between live video feed on and live video feed off. This is a setting for the on-screen display. This is on-screen display off and on-screen display on. So the video feed that you send out, you can have it give you information like the battery levels and all that kind of stuff. That's what that's about. We don't need it on, so we'll just keep it off. Okay, now here what we have is the option to change the timing for photographs. Take a photo every so many seconds, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 30 seconds, or 60-second intervals. We'll just keep it on 1. This option is for the blinking light, on or off. So here that is off and that is on, and that is in reference to the blinking light there. If you don't want people to know you're recording, sometimes that changes the way people act, if you may have noticed. So you may want to turn that off, or if you don't want to draw attention, or if it's too close to the lens, you can get the red light blinking on whatever subject you have. So we will go ahead and turn it on though. Okay, next we have BPO, that is beep on or beep off. So if you don't want to hear any noise and you can turn off the flashing light, then it really looks inconspicuous and also sounds inconspicuous. So depending on whatever setting you're in, go ahead and leave that on. I'm not trying to hide this from anybody. Here you have NSC, which stands for NTSC, which is the North American standard, and then PAL, which is the European video standard. We'll leave it on NTSC. Okay, so when you have it on the LST mode, if you push that, it will blink, and it will blink for 5 seconds as a warning. But if you don't do anything, nothing will be deleted. You can then, so if you were to push the power button, it would advance to the next menu option. If you do want to delete, so we'll go ahead and make it blink there. If you do want to delete, you just push the button again while it's blinking and it will actually delete the file. But because there's nothing on this camera, because there are no video files, so let's go ahead and, okay, so if you push the all button and you push the shutter, then it will blink saying you want to erase the whole card. So we'll go ahead and put it in blink mode, and then I'll go ahead and click it. So what that does will erase, if there's any content on the camera, it will erase anything that's on the actual camera or on the SD card and reformat the whole thing. Okay, next what we have here is, right now it says off, but if we were to push through here, it will actually create a auto shut off. So if nothing is happening on the camera for 60 seconds, meaning you aren't recording, if it's recording, it will go until you tell it to stop recording or the battery dies. But in this case, you can tell it after 2 minutes or 120 seconds, it will turn off the camera to save the battery. So we'll just keep that on off. Okay, so if you have an additional LCD screen for the back of your GoPro, this option here allows you to turn it off or on as far as sending power to it. And so it would just plug in back here. But Since we don't have it, that's not an option we need to worry about. Now we'll enter the date option. So here we have the year. Actually in 2014. So the second one is the month, and then the day, and we are actually at the 7th, so that's good. Hour. Now let's see if this gives you AM, PM. I'm guessing it's going to be military time. So if it was, it would be 1400 hours, which it is. So, and then we have minutes. Okay. And then escape lets you leave the options here. So there you have it. That's the walkthrough of the GoPro Hero camera. Hopefully that helps you in formatting and setting it to whatever you need. Thanks for watching. Please rate and comment. Let me know if you have any suggestions or other tips in programming your GoPro camera.